Welcome. You've got dads.
Hi everyone. So last time we went on our second date with Joseph, and now we're going to do our last second date with all the dads, and this time it will be with Brian. And to explain the pun title of this episode, Hearting is Such Sweet Sorrow, it's based off of the very famous line, Parting is Such Sweet Sorrow, from the Shakespearean play Romeo and Juliet. And now we're just gonna get on with the date. This is one of the dates I enjoy. One of the good things about Brian's dates, even though I don't honestly care for his personality with the competitiveness, but one of the great things about Brian's dates is they're full of mini games. Brian is actually the dad who probably has the most mini games. Research for a technical skill, which is a lot of luck as well, like fishing. That's really not going to get you anywhere. I mean, the only way to get better at fishing, and even then it's a little iffy, is practice. Practice to know how to fish properly, but that won't carry you all the way because a lot of fishing is luck based. It's luck on whether the fish are going to bite that day. It's luck on whether the weather is going to hold out. Like if you have bad weather, the fish will be possibly harder to catch. Although I've heard fish actually like rainy weather. So I mean, you can only do so much research, and it's not even going to carry you all the way. You have no guarantee of success. See, couldn't you just leave it at sounds great, man? I mean, that would have sufficed. Even sounds great, man, super excited to catch all those fish would be okay. But you just have to add layer upon layer. It's like, oh my god. I don't hate Brian, but for some reason he seems to bring out the worst in us. So this hour is what my friend in college called ass o'clock, and I totally believe in that.
Huh?
It doesn't really matter though.
Ugh. Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It really isn't though. It really isn't.
Hmm. Dad.
Why did your dad buy his 9-year-old son a pack of cigarettes? Like, can I ask him that? I mean, he's still alive. Can I ask him that? Because that really concerns me. Like, that doesn't make any damn sense. See, I actually like this kind of time of day, though. Like, you know, kind of. I mean, I don't necessarily like waking up at ass o'clock in the morning, but there's something tranquil about waking up kind of in this weird right before dawn period where the world, it seems like it stands absolutely still and everything is quiet and the morning hasn't gotten hot yet if it's that time of year. Usually everything has like a weird cool crispness to it and it's almost surreal, but it's so comforting and I really like being up at that time of day. um,
Ah. Oh. Hmm?
so this country music, is it music that we personally like, or is it like Brian's taste in music? And what kind of country? Like, is it pop country? Is it like crying country? You know, where my girlfriend left me for a tractor. You know, what is it? Is it like Taylor Swift level? Is it like Kenny Chesney level? Is it like banjos and kazoos and Deliverance level? Like, exactly what level of country are we listening to? Is it Dolly Parton? Because if it's Dolly Parton, I approve. But if it's like Deliverance, I don't. Do people tune fishing poles? I mean, I guess maybe in a sense they might, like if they're reattaching the fishing line spool and all of that. But I can't think of any other way that a fishing pole can be tuned. I mean, I know it's a bullshit story anyway, but still. fishing pole is a euphemism for his penis. In which my dad's Sona Noel has a very nice one. We're just gonna imagine that, or I am. I know I'm making this playthrough rated R, but whatever. Let's have fun with it, right? Do people fish in a canoe? Like, I know you could, but typically I don't think people use canoes to do commercial sort of recreational fishing. I mean, unless you're Native American. And even then, I'm not sure. But don't people just use regular little, rowboats? Because those regular little rowboats, that's not what I call a canoe. To me, a canoe is a very specific kind of boat. It's very oblong, it's kind of slender, has very pointed tips or rounded pointed tips. It is a rowboat, but it's nowhere near as wide as a typical fishing rowboat is. You know what we should take out on the lake, though? We should take out a freaking Viking boat. We should go out there and sail with a huge-ass Viking boat. Because that would just be badass. I mean, have you seen the masthead carvings on Viking boats? Dragons, mermaids. It looks nice as hell. That is a classy way to fish. Of course, I don't think you would use fishing line for that. You'd probably just chuck a fucking spear in the water. But this part kind of pisses me off a little bit. And I think it pisses me off simply because I am a very bad swimmer. I've almost drowned in my life 3 or 4 times. So in undergrad and college, I eventually signed up for a beginner swimming class, just to, not drown again, or not almost drown again. But even though I took that class and I learned the very basics of, staying afloat, treading water, I'm still a very, very bad swimmer. I'm just somebody who naturally sinks. I'm just really no. Not built for swimming, even though I enjoy swimming. But what I'm getting to is, at this part, nothing you say is an option which will let you be safe in swimming. So, like, no matter what, your dad's son is not going to wear a life vest. And I think that just kind of irks me. I feel like they should have let that be an option. So, to go for a natural answer, no thanks isn't something I would say because personally I want a life vest. I can swim things. It's a little cocky, This one would lighten the mood. I think it's one that I would like. So I'm going to go with it.
Oh, shucks.
What was that? That was like 2 voice lines thrown in at one time.
Ugh. Ha! What? Eh?
Hmm. I wish we weren't, but apparently we just can't stop ourselves now, can we? We need to check in to some sort of clinic for it.
Hey!
There's a higher stake than custody of your children? Really? Because I don't really think a weed whacker compares to that. Yes, yes it will. Um, well, insulting the fish I know will accomplish nothing and will make us look even more foolish. Stretching, that's not something you do on the boat. If you're gonna stretch, which you don't really need to for fishing, you're gonna do that on the docks before you get on the boat. So we're just gonna put some bait on the hook like a basic bitch. I do wonder, like, is it a real worm or is it one of those fake bait worms? You know, that are made of like a gummy sort of plastic material.
Hmm?
It does make me wonder, though, how do fish react to blood? Like, I can't imagine that they would really be. Uh, I don't want to say turned off because that's not quite the word I want to use, but I can't imagine they would really avoid it. Because that's going to have protein, that's going to have iron. Like, I would imagine some fish actually might be attracted to it. I mean, especially if you use worms on a fishing hook. Like, other than being attracted to the visual sight, um, are fish also attracted to the smell of the blood that the worm is emitting through being pierced by the hook? Um, and if you use, so when I went fishing, this was decades ago, about 20 years ago, maybe not quite that much, maybe like 18, 17 years ago. Um, what we used was chicken liver. And so obviously protein has some sort of, attraction. Uh, well, fish have some sort of attraction to protein. So I don't know, maybe the blood would attract the fish. Although I know he's BSing. I mean, it's still a thought.
I don't know.
Well, do fish even make noises underwater? Because other than dolphins and whales, well, I think other than dolphins and whales, I don't think they really do. So we're not going to perform a fish mating call. Meditating would accomplish absolutely nothing. So we're going to tie a knot.
Ah. Whoa! Oh!
As you should. You've been dumb this whole time. Like, I often come to the dad's owner's defense that this game makes him look dumber than he really is. But in Brian's scenarios, with this competitiveness, he is dumb as a box of rocks. And I'll admit, I think Brian is just a little bit too. Because they don't know how to disengage. So this is one of my favorite mini games, actually. In fact, all of Brian's mini games are really awesome. So this one is mostly a matching game, and it is a little challenging simply because it really comes down to kind of luck of the draw, how fast your eye is moving across the fish that are available, and how quickly you can make a match. So what I usually like to do when I play this minigame is before the minigame starts, because we're going to be using these exact fish right here, I like to see where I can make matches. So for example, we can switch these two, I'll get a match here. We can switch these two, I'll get a match there. We can switch these two, I'll get a match here. These two, I'll get a quadruple match here. So we actually have a good lineup this time. So let's see what we can do.
Match that fish.
Alrighty, here goes nothing.
Now you're fishing.
There we go.
Catch of the day.
Okay, let's see.
Now you're fishing.
Yep.
Catch of the day. Catch of the day. Catch of the day.
So I'm surprised I haven't got a really good one.
Catch of the day.
So when you get a certain amount,
Nice catch.
you'll get
Catch
a
of the
rainbow
day.
trout.
Nice match.
And a rainbow trout is a really good sign,
Catch of the day.
because it can eliminate a whole row or column for you.
Catch of the day.
Crap. Where's a good spot? Ah, here's one.
Match of the day.
Here's one.
Nice match.
Like I said, sometimes it can get a little hard to spot. There we go.
Now you're fishing.
Here's one.
Nice catch.
So I'm usually a bit faster than this, but I've never done this on a stream before, so... Shit. Where's a good spot? Here's one.
Catch of the day. Catch of the day.
Yeah, we're gonna lose this. And we
Nice
can't
catch.
really lose, but essentially we're gonna lose, I think. Oh, come on, where's a good spot?
Nice catch. Now you're fishing. Match of the day. Now you're fishing.
I think that's gonna be it, guys. Dang. Oh. I think my best score has been about like 1600. You can get an achievement if you get the 2000, but that's, I'll be honest, it's really difficult because, like I said, it has to do a lot with the luck of how they fall into place, and also just like how quick your eye can find a match. Hey, I'm enjoying my time. Like I said, I think it's a fun mini game. If fishing was that easy in real life, I would probably do it a lot. I think I got something big. Ha ha ha. Double entendre.
Aha.
Ugh.
Ah. Aha. Oh.
Yeah, but we've been working out with Craig. So I would say that Noel actually probably has a rather nice body. I mean, he's always been kind of lithe and, thinnish, leanish looking. So right now he probably has some decent muscle tone. I don't know what he's so self-conscious about.
Ah. Aha. Hmm.
That would actually be really funny if they did. Yeah, unfortunately. I actually have to agree with Brian. I mean, I generally like the smell of not bug spray in general, like not the kind you kill roaches and wasps with, because that smells disgusting. But the kind that is citronella based, it always like has kind of a nice smell to me. It's like a very nostalgic smell. Um, I always like the fake out throw.
Aha. Ah.
Um, I don't do butt pats. That's just I feel like that could be asking for trouble, even though on a corgi it's probably safer than most. Um, Ear scratches are fine, but if I'm going to make it up to a dog, I'm going to rub the dog's belly just like I'd rub a cat's belly.
Ah.
Well, if you ask nicely, you can have them. The thing is, neither of them have bad bods. But, having been a teen once, yeah, it can be embarrassing. Yes, you're literally 10 years old. That is the definition of a child to me.
Ah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had trout. And I really don't think I have. Like, I've had salmon, I've had tons of types of fish, especially having lived in Japan. Um, I've had salmon, I've had flounder, I've had whitefish, I've had tuna, um, The problem is, having lived in Japan, some of these fish, like, I only know their Japanese name. I have no idea what they are in English. I've had smelt. That's one I remember from Japan, and it is absolutely disgusting. I hate it. I had one fish in Japan, which I only ever had on sushi. I never had it in like any other form, called engawa. I don't know what kind it is. It might be a mackerel. I'm not sure, but it's absolutely delicious. But I don't think I've ever had trout. I've had mahi mahi before. That's pretty good. I've never had walleye. I'm trying to think of what other sorts of fish people eat. Those are the big ones that are just coming to mind now. I've heard trout is a sweet fish, though, and people usually eat it with corn. Like, my parents used to go trout fishing all the time, but they stopped doing that before I was born, so I never actually got to eat trout.
Well,
I want to say I've had catfish. I'm not actually sure. It's kind of a weird flavor to me, though, because I do think I have had it. Well, we both got really hot and heavy. And Brian and I, we had some adult man time. And that's all you need to know. Not really, though.
ah,
Why did Brian take the heat for us? Like, we're not embarrassed by Amanda. We're not embarrassed by what she thinks about us, even if we do, muck up sometimes. So I'm not sure why he tried to, why he, saved us here. That I'm not sure. I guess he's just being nice. See, if I was in this position now, I would be honest. I'd be like, Brian's just being nice. It was really me, who screwed it all up. I'm the one who got the boat capsized. It's just, I don't know. That's a very strange gesture to me. I don't know if there's such a thing as competitive humility, though. Like, to me, that's definitely a paranoia thing happening here. I don't think anybody is competitively humble. I mean, the only time that I would even think competitive humility could exist in a context would be if you're trying to, outbid somebody in getting into heaven or something. And that's just absolutely silly, because it wouldn't work anyway. Is Brian going to keep his eyes closed the rest of the trip? Because if he's going to drive us home, if he ain't going to open his eyes, I'm concerned. Like, not only is my safety at stake, but the safety of Daisy, the safety of the dog, and the safety of my own daughter are at stake. Like, can you maybe open your eyes again? Like, are they stuck shut? Do you have, like, pink eye? Do you have glaucoma? Like, what's going on, Brian? Talk to me. Oh my god, his eyes are still closed. We're gonna die. We are gonna die. So for this part of the date, I actually wish that the dad Sona had fallen asleep in the passenger seat and had, when you fall asleep sitting, sometimes you like drift to the side. I kind of wish that the dad Sona had drifted to the side and ended up sleeping on Brian's shoulder, because that would have been extremely cute. So we can open our eyes, but apparently Brian can't. I'm starting to wonder if he's going to be this way not just the rest of the date, but the rest of the game. Can you stop, like, trying to compete about every single thing? Like, please, you're pissing me off. Okay, you do have strong arms. We'll give you that. Brian, open your eyes. Oh my god. That was lame. So, apparently for the rest of the date, Brian was not able to open his eyes. I hope he went to the hospital to get some sort of surgery to fix that. We will find out in a future date, though. I am concerned. Who gives a damn? Jesus. Pole saw is Brian and his euphemism for Brian's, you know, gigantic, fat, The thing is, I really don't think he is. Like, in the beginning, yeah, it did seem that way. But because he covered for us at the lake, when he didn't even have to, and it wasn't even a situation where I would think anybody would anyway. I don't know. I think he's just trying to be genuinely nice, but he's just naturally competitive.
Dad.
In this instance, yes. I mean, you are the superior dad. You will always be the superior dad. All dads in this game come second to you, but that's because we have to play you. Neither do I. Oh my god.
What an amazing date!
I'm glad you thought so, even with your eyes closed for the whole second half of the damn thing. But it was enjoyable.
Welcome. You've got dads.
So that ends our second date with Brian, and consequently all of our second dates with all of the dads. So next time we'll be starting on the third date, which is the final date in the game so far. Hopefully they'll come out with DLC which goes beyond the third date eventually. Hopefully, you know, the sooner the better. So when it comes to the third dates, I've decided I'm not going to leave it to a randomized generator. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who I chose for my first third date. But just, you know, tune in next time and you'll find out. But I do have them in a set order of whose dates and whose endings I like the most. That much I can remember. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.